Hello, friends. The Christian life is so many times parallel to running a marathon, running a race. Following Jesus Christ is about training for a marathon or running a marathon. And for the next 5 days, I want to share with you at least 5 principles, 5 things that I believe is important when you train for a marathon and when you run a marathon. So the very first thing is you need to have vision for the finish line. You need to be able to finish strong. You know what? I read the story about this relay team. And the guys were running in this relay team, and the first guy were taking the lead, and the second guy were taking the lead. And when they handed over the baton to the third guy, they were still ahead, and all of a sudden he stopped running. And the fourth guy was waiting for him to come, and the fourth guy ran to him and said, "Hey, what's wrong?" And the rest of the team members come around him. He was running off the track, he was sitting down, and he just said, I did not feel like running anymore. It reminded me of when I was just in high school. I was taking part in our house athletics and running a lot of things, and the 400 and 800 and 200 and a lot of things. And one of the teachers came to me and said, "Would you also do the 1500 for us?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." And I started running, and after almost 3 laps, I was just not able to run anymore. There was no more strength left in me, and I also left the track. I was not prepared well. I had no more strength left. And in the Christian race, it's like a marathon, you know. We sometimes feel like that. People feel like, well, I don't want to do it anymore. Others say, well, I don't have the strength anymore. I just want to give up. And it's the same like Billy Graham. You know, we need to have a vision for the finish line, and we need to finish strong. These two guys that started with Billy Graham in the ministry in 1945, Chuck Templeton and Bron Clifford. You've most probably never heard of Templeton and Clifford, but both those two guys, they just stopped running this Christian race. They stopped following Jesus Christ after about 5 years. One of them just quit it and said, "Well, I don't believe anymore." The other one committed suicide. But Billy Graham, we know that he had a vision for the finish line. He finished strong. And friends, when we run a marathon, and especially when we run this Christian life, we need to have a vision for the finish line. We need to finish strong. It doesn't matter how you start this race. You might start slow, you might start fast, you might start strong. That's not important. It's how you finish the race. And that's every time my vision, my goal for running a marathon is I want to finish strong. I've got a vision for the finish line when I run a marathon. For example, I would set a specific time. I want to finish in this time, and this is my goal. And when I reach that time, when I reach the finish line, I want to still feel strong that I'll be able to say, I can do another 5 kilometers, another 10. And that's really great. And then it reminds me of when I was in the Defense Force, in the Air Force, doing our national service. Our very last test for becoming a physical training instructor was running this 42 kilometers with all your full battle kit and a gun and boots and everything. And our vision was on the finish line to run through the gates of the Air Force gymnasium and just have the vision of those swords that you're going to put onto your arms. And that was the vision, and that encouraged us. We want to finish strong. We want to have our eyes focused on the finish line. You need to have that when you run this race. When you want to give up, when you don't feel like running anymore, have your eyes, have a vision, have a single focus on the finish line. Hear what Paul says in Philippians 3. Philippians 3 verse 13 to 14, he says, "I forget what is behind me. I strain towards the goal. I strain towards the goal, the upward call of God in Christ Jesus." That is the goal, the finish line. Jesus Christ is the aim. Let us focus our eyes on Jesus Christ when we finish the race. So friends, when we train for a marathon, when we run this Christian life like a marathon, it's not a 100-meter chase where we can see the finish line. We must have a vision for the finish line. So let's keep on running with a vision for the finish line.